My name is Desire Iraguha Emily. My number is S1991524, and I will be discussing current climate change and projected climate change impacts in Kampala district, which is the capital city of Uganda, East Africa. Kampala city is made up of 5 divisions bordered by 7 hills in the northern part of Lake Victoria. These 7 hills are major features or landmark features in Kampala, as they are characterized by important features such as major hospitals, schools, cultural sites, and religious grounds. These are the Mulago Hill, Mengo Hill, Rubaga Hill, Namirembe Hill, Makere Hill, Nakasero, and Old Kampala Hill. However, as of today, the city has expanded in population and area coverage, and as such, the city currently has a number of people, that is 1,578,000 people, and at least 21 hills, as of information from the Uganda Bureau of Standards 2014, after undertaking the national census. Kampala city is located on latitude 0 degrees 24 minutes 5.42 seconds north and 32 degrees 33 minutes 17.06 seconds. Kampala, the central business district in Uganda, is characterized by all sorts of buildings ranging from permanent structures and temporary structures. The permanent structures are mostly seen in the central business district, where it is characterized by the rich. The temporary structures are mostly made of makeshift houses and containers and brick material, which are mostly visible in the outskirts of Kampala, and these are characterized by residential areas for most of the downtown workers in the central business district. As a result, these temporary housing facilities can be seen mostly in the slummy settlements, which are low-lying areas, and as such, there is poor drainage facilities, poor waste management, coupled with the extreme poverty, rendering the people who stay in these slummy areas unable to adapt to better housing facilities and improved waste management, and this makes people in these areas susceptible to climate change. The informal settlements are mostly located within the wetlands and the valley areas, which are susceptible to flooding. The city is located within the tropical equatorial belt. As such, it experiences a tropical climate under the classification of AF under the Köppen climate classification scheme. Average annual temperatures received about 21.3 degrees Celsius and about 1,293 millimeters of precipitation received annually. However, from the image, it can be noted that rainfall is received throughout the year, unlike the months of January and February and December, where we realize that less amount of rainfall is received, as this is a prominent dry season. Kampala experiences 2 rainy seasons, that is the March, April, May, and September, October, November. These are seasons characterized by enhanced rainfall, and these are mostly used as growing seasons by farmers. The weather and climate in Kampala is mostly influenced by the ITCZ belt, which comprises of warm, moist air, coupled with the existing largest lake in Africa, which is Lake Victoria, with which Kampala is in the northern part. As such, it continuously receives moist air as a result of the lake and the land breeze. It has also witnessed an increased frequency and magnitude of heavy rainfall, resulting into flooding and destruction of people's property, affecting people's homes, especially the slum dwellers. It has also affected transportation of people from one area to another, as some roads become impassable and are cut off by the floods. As a result, it has also led to deaths due to flooding. We can take an example from the Mam rains earlier this year, where a heavy downpour resulted in two large-scale flooding within the city center around the Queensway area and the residential areas such as the Bwaise and Natete areas, which we should note that they are also low-lying areas. In May 2019, 8 people died as a result of flash floods within the Kampala city, and this also left hundreds of people stranded and displaced. As for some people, there was a destruction of their homes and other roads were impassable, as such affecting normal operations within the city. Key sectors affected due to flooding is the transport sector, as some areas are cut off and are covered underwater. After flooding, there is also an increased breakout of waterborne diseases such as cholera and diarrhea, which strains the existing health facilities, as they are also not well equipped to handle mass outbreaks of diseases. The IPCC 2014 indicates the likelihood for enhanced vector-borne and waterborne diseases as a result of climate change within Kampala district and Africa at large. According to the 5th IPCC assessment report, it is also projected that the tropical region is also likely to receive enhanced precipitation amounts, which are anticipated to be more intense and more frequent. Africa's simulated projected rainfall indicates that between the year 2021 and 2050 relative to 1961-1990, that climates under the climate scenarios RCP 4.5 and RCP 8.5, that there is a likely increase and decrease in rainfall in the future. Kampala in particular is likely to experience enhanced rainfall, that is a slightly wetter period, with a probability of 25 to 50% likelihood. This increased precipitation is also likely to be experienced within particular seasons of March, April, May, and September, October, November for the same years. These future changes in rainfall will largely impact on availability of clean water, crop yield, frequency of waterborne diseases such as malaria and cholera. Under the same model, it is expected that the future is likely to continue warming compared to the historical and current temperatures being experienced in Kampala. Higher future increases in temperature under RCP 8.5 are likely going to be higher compared to RCP 4.5, where under RCP 4.5, 1.2 degrees Celsius increase is anticipated, and RCP 8.5, an increase of 1.8 degrees Celsius is anticipated for Kampala between the same year of 2021-2050. Between 1933 and 2018, Kampala has experienced over 45 flooding events, according to UNDC Venta report, all of which have resulted in death tolls of about 53 deaths in total. In 2011 alone, over 122 houses were destroyed by flood events within the city, and 17,529 people were indirectly affected by the floods, according to this same report. Key sectors likely to be affected by projected climate in Kampala. We have the energy sector, water sector, and the transport sector. Changes in rainfall are likely to cause drought in the energy sector, leading to low power output. Changes in temperature may not directly affect the energy sector, but for the energy sector, changes in rainfall could affect availability of power in other surrounding districts of Wakiso and PG and Mukono. For water and sanitation, water contamination is likelihood due to the rainfall season, also in the dry season. Also, because of the poor sanitation facilities, might lead to contamination and spread of diseases. The water and sanitation sector, due to increase in temperature, could cause to increase spread of diseases such as malaria, since they can now survive and lay their eggs, which had been laid in the wet season. For the transport sector, accessibility of other areas out of Kampala is difficult, since the main source of transport is the roads, As such, when the roads are blocked off, people cannot easily move from one district to another. Also, in the transport sector, there is likelihood of a heat wave which could directly affect pedestrians and people moving from one area to another.